Schools are making a grave mistake in that they are grouping children based on age. In doing so, they are keeping the really smart student from material that could help them learn at a much quicker pace. Instead of this, they should allow mixed age groups to enable higher level students to achieve at a higher level. Currently, teachers are using a one size fits all system to educate children, forcing all students into a compliance based teaching where they teach everyone the same math, the same English, etc., etc. We feel this system is faulty in that students have varying skills in different subjects. They may struggle in some areas but excel in others. For instance, a student could excel in math but be very average in other subjects. Thus, he or she would be extremely handicapped with this one size fits all system. Creativity is another factor that must become a focus of education. Kindergartners were given a test which they had to come up with as many ways as they could to use a common object. For instance, a blanket could be used for warmth, obviously, but with creativity, it could be a sail for a boat or even a parachute. Surprisingly, 98% of said kindergartners scored genius level on this test. Every 5 years, they had to retake the test, and every time, their scores dropped. One would expect the scores to rise with increased intelligence and wisdom. However, schools have standardized their curriculum and thus standardized their students' minds and reduced their creative ability. Financing has also become a major issue for schooling, specifically in the United States. Too many people can't afford to ditch their families to get a higher education. Instead, they must settle for low paying, minimum wage jobs, jobs that are much less rewarding in the long run when compared to those requiring a college degree. Plus, student loans strike fear into the hearts of potential participants, shying them away from the program. The state of Michigan has instituted a policy of giving people free rides to college as long as they pay back that amount through pieces of their income, hopefully inspiring children to overcome their fear of loans and go for their degree. The ADHD pandemic that has hit America is not really a pandemic at all. While ADHD is a legitimate disorder, doctors have overdiagnosed it. These children live in possibly the most stimulating environment in the history of the world and are being told not to get distracted. We are giving these children drugs to calm them down and focus them on one specific thing: school lectures. However, this does the opposite of what we want. We want to stimulate their brains in the classroom and encourage creativity, not anesthetize them and pinpoint their focus. Creativity develops ingenuity, and ingenuity is a helpful and important tool for the future of the individual and the country in that it separates the followers from the doers. Collegiate participation is another issue that must be attended to. For the last decade, only 40% of Americans have moved on to tertiary education, and in the same time period, Korea has increased its participation threefold, jumping from 20 to 60% in between working generations. Without added participation, America will be unable to fulfill the required 22 million educated workers it must produce, and those jobs will be given to foreign scholars, increasing the unemployment rate. Thank you for your time, but we want to leave you with one lasting message. As a whole, there's multiple bumps in the road to the perfect education system. But through destandardizing our classes, increasing affordability of collegiate level education, ignoring the quote unquote ADHD pandemic, and encouraging ingenuity and decreasing the gap with foreign countries over participation in tertiary education, we can overcome these holes and become the intellectual dynamo we once were.